The Nikki Glaser Podcast. The Nikki Glaser Podcast.
Here's Nikki. Hello, it's me. It's Nikki Glaser Podcast. Welcome to the show. Mom's looking at me weird.
Why?
I don't know. You're just looking at me like
Because
you're making me laugh again. It's like when you were caught under that little tarp at the Taylor Swift concert when you were stuck inside that
probably
garbage
look like
bag.
that right
you were
now.
so funny.
My hair is kind of wet.
No, you look cute.
No.
Did you just get out of the shower or was there a rainstorm? Oh, yeah. I always show up to things with wet hair.
I'm sorry.
There should be no shame. Women are always like, I'm sorry,
not
my
ashamed.
hair's wet. It's like
Anyone else would get ready for this podcast, but I'm like, I'm.
No, it's
I
chill.
care.
We're chill.
It's just that
and we don't have many
No, you
YouTube
don't
listeners
care.
unless, wait a second, hold on. I forgot to take off my shoes. I'm doing, now I'm going.
We're doing now.
I'm
Why?
doing no shoes for, to get more fans on our YouTube page because that's the only place you can see my feet.
It's
on
Shoes June.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. Maybe I'll start putting them back on. So if you are into feet and bunions, especially, you got to check out the YouTube channel because I'm always hiding my feet. And I'm like, why? What did I do wrong to have these feet? They are kind of grotesque, but I did not try to make them grotesque. I didn't neglect them in some way. I'm a good person that's tried my best with my feet. I don't need to be ashamed of them. Even if they are like orange on the bottom they're not orange right now.
They're not. I was
But,
thinking
like,
how
look at it.
clean looking they are on the bottom.
Really?
Yeah. No,
Thanks.
your feet look great.
Mom, look at that bunion sticking out. It's
I know, but
hitchhiking.
it looks like your
to the
dad's
northwest.
feet.
I know it looks like my dad's feet. Are you turned on by them?
A little bit.
Wait, here. This
really?
is
It's
Dad.
genetic? I thought
this
it
is
was
Dad talking about
environmental.
something. No, it is environmental. We both wear small shoes, but
Oh, really?
it's not genetic. It's a
Isn't?
lie. Yeah, I've done a lot of
What?
research on bunions.
What?
It's about people
tight
wearing
shoes.
small shoes. Yeah, and then your bones will do that.
Oh,
And
By
so it-
choice?
Yeah, because I always wanted to have, pants used to look cuter with small shoes when I was in like college and stuff, like with flares, like you want it to peek out like a little bit. So I would wear like 8.5 instead of 9.
I have
Big
never
old shoes.
heard this.
What do you
It's
think?
foot
Bound
binding.
feet.
It's like
foot
in
binding.
Japan for the geishas. They always
Well,
they
that's what-
tiny feet.
My foot looks like it went through the fucking Ming
That's
Dynasty.
why I have the smallest feet in my family.
Yeah, because you wore small shoes.
Yeah, because they never bought me new shoes.
I know, that's bullshit.
It's such
Pig woman.
bullshit. Pig woman.
That you had small shoes. They
Pig
called
woman.
you pig woman.
And I was a pig woman.
And you probably had shoes like a little pig, like your feet
They
like
were
all
little-
stuffed into these little
yeah.
like
They were cloven.
cloven is the word.
That is why they called me pig woman. It was the hoofs.
Oh my
I
God,
saw
those
them.
shoes are getting popular again. I
cloven
saw
shoes?
wearing them
Hoof?
the other day.
What?
The
Oh my
cloven,
God.
they freak me out.
Oh, I think they're so weird.
They're
You
so
wore those
chic.
once?
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
On
Oh,
you
on,
did.
on a
You
show
got
for a joke.
gift.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were literal horseshoes to make you look like a horse because this was like for pony play. People that are
Oh,
like
these are like goat shoes, or what animal has cloven hooves?
Pigs.
A devil.
Yes, the devil. Pigs, goats.
The devil's not an animal.
Pig women.
Yes.
Pig women.
And they're so expensive.
Goat
Like
women.
I'm gonna spend $800 for
Like
a
Beyonce.
leather cloven
man.
hooves.
Mom,
Cloven hooves.
when you hear Beyonce's the goat or something like that, what do you think?
I've never heard that.
You've never heard
What?
that? No one's ever called you the goat?
No.
Oh my gosh. So this is the thing. It's so funny. There's so many young women talking about how I think it was like Meryl Streep was Jennifer Lawrence or something was in an interview with Meryl Streep and she was like, and she's the goat. And she's like, why? People always call me a goat. And I guess I look like one, but it's not very nice. And she's like, oh
I
my
made
God,
something,
Meryl,
obviously.
you thought it meant you look like a goat? You thought people were just openly calling you a goat to your face? It's greatest of all time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So if someone's like, Julie, you're the goat, it doesn't mean
They're lying.
If they call you pig woman, that means the prettiest
Truth.
in the globe.
Yeah. Tom Brady's the goat. Michael Jordan's the goat. LeBron's the goat. I think goat's
Yeah.
being overused a little bit. And now there's a new phrase called goated. You've been goated, which the
Means
kids are saying, which means
Like that means
you,
like we've crowned you
Yes.
as greatest of all time.
or they just say goated, like a phrase of affirmation. Goated.
I think we can stop saying it. It's
I
just
don't
more-
mind any teen slang because we had it too, and old people were like, we don't like them saying groovy or whatever. Like, there's always going to be words that are new that old people are like, why are kids just saying slay instead of that slays or that? Like, just stop being old and accept that there are young things that you're not into, and it doesn't make them dumb and it doesn't make you smarter. You had it too. I always used to think of this like when Miss Hannigan from Annie hated kids.
Yeah.
I was like, you were a kid. What the fuck are you talking about? Did you hate yourself?
She probably did.
But like anyone who's like, I hate children, I'm always just like, no, you don't.
And you don't
were
have to talk
a child.
like that either.
Yeah, they always have to be like, they have to be putting their fingers together like slowly.
Wait, Nikki, let me give you a slang test. I see if you're familiar with some of these Gen Z slang
I won't
terms.
be, but it's not gonna. I'm not gonna be like upset about it. Like they're so dumb, these kids. Okay, what is
I'm
it?
not. I don't claim to be a Gen Z expert or cool in any capacity, but I have learned a few phrases.
Cap.
Okay, what does cap mean?
That means like no cap, like lying. That's cap, man. Like you're lying.
Yes,
Like-
you could just say crap.
I learned this from F boy. Yeah,
You say
could.
crap instead of cap. Okay, what about bet?
No
I
idea.
use it in a sentence.
Bet. Literally,
Okay.
that's what they say.
I like it.
Bet.
That is a sentence.
No one my age or in my generation can judge anyone from using like to shortening things to one thing, especially in my group of friends. We changed Laura Holly's name from Laura Holly to Holly as her last name to Hala to her to here. We just made it a sound. So there's
You guys did have your own language.
we did "k." I mean,
Yeah.
and "k" covers so much. So okay, bet is what?
Bet is like for sure. Yes.
Oh, bet. Yeah,
Yeah.
you bet.
Yeah.
It's take off the you. You bet.
yeah.
Bet.
Obviously, this is too easy. You know, cringe.
Yeah, that's like the number one thing I
Like, ew.
worry about being.
Oh.
It's almost like, it's not so much like, ew, it's like, oh God, that's so sad.
Right.
Like when you see someone online like being and they're
Right.
like trying to get attention and they're just like someone crying on Instagram is cringe.
Well, how would they say it? Would they just go,
They wouldn't say it. They would say it to their friends behind that person's back.
go-
No one ever
they would
knows
just say
that
the
they're
word cringe and that's it?
Oh, it's cringe.
Oh, it's
That's cringe. She's
Okay.
cringe. Or like,
Okay.
ew, cringe. Yeah, I think that's
Okay.
how they'd say it. I mean, I don't know. I'm an old woman, but
You
Some of
really
these
are.
things I just learn on TikTok from like comments. Like, did you know that
Yeah.
instead of saying LOL, some kids are saying LEL? I don't know why, but that's what they're saying.
I
What
bet
does
it
that
was like a
mean?
typo at first, and then almost like the
Pwned.
noob. I think was a typo. Like when
Yeah.
someone was saying like you're a newbie, and someone spelled it NOOB, and then that became like you're. I think it was based on a typo. I do like the origin of words like this. Oh, do you have any more?
No, but I have a question. So, at what age, at a certain
Yeah.
age or a certain developmental stage, everyone stops using the slang? Like, you don't see a lot of like 70-year-olds walking around going like, you know,
Oh yes,
that-
you do.
like, look at those dapper legs. You know, like no one's talking like that anymore. So
Well,
I feel
those
like
people are like 110 that are. So we need. But I will say that my parents, whenever they ingest something legally in a state where it is legal to ingest
yes.
marijuana in the form of a cookie or an edible, and they maybe have done it once
Here
or
we
twice in
go.
their life,
What?
they will say, EJ, you getting off from that yet?
Oh
They
my
say-
God. Yeah.
They
And I
call
don't-
getting high getting off. And that was a common
so
colloquial
disturbing.
term. They always say, did you get off from that last night? And I'm always like,
Still say that.
and I go, Dad, you can't ask Mom that. And he's like, what? We had some edibles. I'm like, it sounds like you went down on her. You're asking her about it when you say I had edibles and did she get off from it? I don't like it. Nikki,
Well, we'll
did you
try to stop
You getting
that.
off from that hit you took? I'm just always like, and it's good to talk about like what you're feeling on drugs. Like when I do drugs, I don't want to talk about, I hate whenever I do drugs, I never want someone to be like, you feeling it yet? Not because I'm like, I am so much and get your face. It's like Alice in Wonderland up in here. Get your face out of mine. I'm just like, I don't think it's cool. I'm ashamed of it. I just want to be in my head.
Well,
in this.
that's all your dad talking.
I'm
It's
doing
not
it
me.
because dad is a healthy person that doesn't use drugs to like escape reality like I do. I use drugs to feel
I don't know about
okay and to feel better about like to not want to kill myself is when I'm drawn to drugs, or just to like, it's not usually to be like, I want this laser show to be more trippy. It's like, I don't want to lay in bed and think about suicide all day. So I'll smoke some weed. Like,
Yeah, you just want to get off a little bit.
but it's not, I want to get off. It's just, I want to be. But when you use any drugs, it's like so associated with like you're doing it to like, I don't know, like to party or whatever. And it's like, I'm just doing it so I don't, the first thing I think of is to cut myself when I, do something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you just want to get to zero.
I want to be normal.
Numb.
Yeah.
My parents say get high when they're drinking wine. It's so annoying. They're like, we got a little high last night. I'm like, weed? And they're like, no, not grass.
Oh
We're just
my
gonna
God. Are these,
Just
are
had
they
a couple
rich?
glasses of wine, and no,
are they-
they're not.
That sounds
They
like
just
a
watch
wealthy
Woody
person.
Allen films.
I'm dying to hear
and
about
grass.
more. I'm dying to hear more anecdotes about your parents being in Kingston right now, Anya, because
I am in hell.
I've heard a couple of them in the girls' chat, but I'm just wondering which ones you can share here. And like, why are you in hell? And like, just tell me what I'm in for, because your parents are a little bit older than mine, a bit older.
Yes.
What are
Yeah.
what are their ages?
They're 80 and 81, but they wouldn't want me to tell you that, but they are, and they'll never hear this because yesterday my mom's like, well, and podcast is for later? What is it? And I'm like,
like
I'll
on
show
its
you the
late
app.
night?
I'm like, this little purple thing on your iPhone, that's the podcast app. And she's like, why do people go here? I'm like, do you want to search for Russia or Putin or Ukraine? And she was like, oh my God. Like, it was a treasure. I'm like,
Opened
there
up a
are
world.
hundreds of Russian podcasts.
Are you
She's
kidding me?
excited.
Hundreds? There are hundreds of thousands.
Yes.
There's 3 billion podcasts that are on the
Oh my
service
God.
right now.
And I've done like
No, there
70,000 of them. Yes, there are.
I've been paid
billion.
for zero.
3 billion.
Think how many people. That's why I always
Oh
tell people
my God.
start a fucking podcast. If you are like someone that's in like someone that has no potential of
My God.
making it in the world or whatever, but you always have this like secret passion to like be a broadcaster or to be a comedian or be an actress or some kind of like talking personality, start a fucking podcast. There's no shame in having 0 listeners. Someone will stumble upon it eventually and you'll have 1 listener, but there's no shame in it, because everyone, even when I started my first podcast in 2010, I'll never forget. It was you had to be there with Sarah Schaefer.
Yes.
We were so scared because we were like, oh, we're starting a podcast. Everyone has a podcast. In 2010,
You were so ahead of the curve. Like there was.
we had that conversation though,
No,
that like
yeah.
this is so cliche.
No,
And
you
so
were
every
way ahead
podcast
of
I've
the
started
curve.
since then,
Yeah.
we've always had that conversation. I go, it's irrelevant. That conversation's irrelevant. Podcasts are here to stay. It's the first thing that anyone at home can do with a simple microphone.
Yeah.
You got to do it, and there's no judgment if you're not good at it or if no one listens. Like, no one should listen. You are a dentist in Milwaukee. Like, just start, and then maybe something.
Yes.
A couple people
Wait,
will.
You
you can
think-
just go on a podcast app and like
You can
go,
just put a podcast up. Anyone.
I'm putting one
Here
on.
you go. Yeah.
No one needs to approve you. You don't-
Jesus.
Ted
Oh my
Sarandos
God.
does not need to approve
There's
you.
no
to have a
approval
podcast.
process.
And there's not like even you have to do so many at one.
No, I mean,
Nope,
I do
you could
because
do
I have
one.
a contract with
Right.
iHeart. But like, I could, when we did, you had to be there. That was all up to us. We set the rules. We set the parameters. We set how many, if we missed an episode, we weren't like answering to someone. We didn't even have ads on that one. So we weren't making
Yeah.
any money off of it. But
When I did the Unbelievable podcast, it was the same way. This is the month.
yeah,
I didn't.
the Unbelievable
nice.
podcast.
No one asked me to do
merch.
that. Then I just kept going.
By yourself? Was it just you?
Well,
I had,
he had
I had co-hosts.
Tim Dillon.
Tim
Oh, Tim
Dillon for
Dillon.
some
was his
time.
co-host. Isn't
Yeah.
that cool?
Yeah.
My mom's
okay.
a TD fan.
I know.
Do you think when
Yes.
Rupert Murdoch started Fox, he was like, "Oh, are we going to start another channel?"
Exactly.
Like there was
wish he wouldn't
already
have.
CBS, NBC.
Right.
I do feel like there are
Yeah.
some channels though that people should say that for these days, like on cable. Have you seen cable lately?
Oh God.
Yes.
There's
I
some
mean, not
crazy
really.
channels out there. Have you
Really?
seen comedy.tv?
No,
Oh
but
my God,
I know of that brand.
It's
because
basically
they-
just like the Byron Allen network. It just replays.
Yes. I was
Oh,
gonna
it's
say-
so fun to watch comedy.tv. I actually
Really?
love watch because it shows reruns of comedians doing things in like 2005. It's like
Oh,
a time
yes.
capsule of what comedy was like not that
I couldn't
long
get
ago.
on that show. Yeah.
But like long enough to be like, I saw a episode of what's the show with Byron Allen? Comics Unleashed.
Comics Unleashed.
Which
Yeah,
is
they
such
don't
a
wear their
funny-
leashes.
Which is such a funny name because it's like they're the most
It's the most
leashed.
tame show.
They could not be more leashed. But
Yeah.
before the show started, Byron Allen came on. This is all from watching Comedy TV, a new channel on cable if you have any cable. Byron Allen comes on. He goes, "You're not going to believe what I have on the show today. Call your family, call your friends, because I'm going to
This is
show you
Byron Allen.
something today that you have never seen. I promise you, you have never seen it in your entire life." And then I watched the entire episode and I'm like, what the fuck was he talking about? He never brought that up again. And then it turns out what he was talking about was one of the comedians was trans.
No.
That's how different things were. He was saying it like, this is going to blow your
Was
fucking
it?
mind.
I'm guessing it was a man to woman, male to female, female trans.
it was
person?
no, it was a man. It was a female to man, I think.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
And is that person still around?
They're
See,
still
never
around.
seen that.
They're
Who
still
was
around.
it?
They're still in LA. I forgot their name, but they're doing fine.
Yeah, that's so.
Isn't that
it
crazy?
was so fucking different back then.
Wild.
I mean, I saw a trans girl yesterday walking down in my neighborhood, and I knew because she wasn't passing that well as a woman, or but it doesn't matter. Like that's a look in and of itself too. She looked really pretty, and like I was just like, I'm always so proud of trans women.
Yeah, amazing.
For like figuring it out, because can you imagine all of a sudden always wanting to wear dresses and makeup and do your hair and all that stuff, and you just have to start on a dime the day you go, I'm out. And like we eased into it as girls, as cis girls that were like born into it. Even when I first started wearing makeup, like I was getting it so wrong in 8th grade. I found some notes that my friends wrote about me to each other, being like, "Did you see what Nikki tried to wear?" It was so embarrassing.
Oh my God.
Just
That's
figuring
so
out
funny.
what's like. Even Noah has been a woman for a really long time, and just was recently like, "What do women wear at my age?" Like I don't know. She had to look at a list on Pinterest and go follow it. Like I really give it up to every trans person out there who is trying to that is doing their best to like be themselves and fit into this new category for themselves out of nowhere, because it is awkward. You get lots of stares. People whisper tons of shit about you. People have preconceived
dangerous.
notions about, and this girl, I was so worried for her because I had been walking, I'd finished my run and I was just going for a walk, and I saw lots of like vagrant homeless people kind of screaming during this walk, and kind of, would switch sides of the street to get away from it. And I'm like, if one of these people who's a little chaotic in the head see this girl, there could be violence. Like there could be, and especially, no offense, like in certain communities, it is really looked down upon to be a guy that is masquerading as a woman, because that could trick them, and then they might get a blowjob from a man. And then what does that say about them? And all these things. And then there's violence. So I was wanting to like walk with her. I was like scared for her. So it's just so brave to me. And
You should have said something.
I don't want to say anything. I just want to say she was like doing the paying the parking meter, and I always try to sneak in a girl when I run into female trans into trans women. I always try to go like, love that coat, girl, like because they
that's
like
nice.
to hear. And because
Compliment.
they're
Good-
doing a good job of being a girl. And I have many trans friends who are like, the years go on and they pass more and more, where you're like, I don't even remember. It takes a while though, just like it took us a while. So if you see a guy in a dress and you're like, what the fuck is this? Give him a second to learn how to be a woman. And also, if you tend to think that these people are doing it just for attention, I'm speaking to a small percentage of you, but some people do think this, and some people on the right side of things think this, that they're just doing it for attention. If your mind, you yourself, person I'm talking to, if you were so fucked up in the head or whatever that you decided to just play like you're trans to get attention, I think you deserve to have a little sympathy your way. Even if someone's doing it for attention, that is so wackadoo. To go against what you naturally want to be, that you're like pretending to be a woman even though you're not.
Right.
Then it's like your thing with the homeless man. Remember the homeless man that like isn't homeless.
Right.
And I go, Mom, leave him alone because that is so deranged to do that. He deserves our empathy or whatever money he's getting, because I wouldn't stand on the fucking street and pretend that I'm homeless. So even if someone's pretending to be trans, which is such a small fucking percentage,
Well, if it was a big money maker, you might.
No, I wouldn't. I would never. You would never do that. No one would ever pretend to be homeless. If he's that crazy, let him
Who is this
have
guy?
it.
How do you know him?
He's just a guy on
We
the corner.
don't know him.
We don't know him, but my mom screamed at him.
Oh, yeah?
We know what you're up to. We know you're fake homeless. And she
That's
screamed
his
as she
hustle.
walked.
That's his hustle. So he's just that's
I
his
know
job.
it's his hustle.
But if he's willing to do that, let him fucking have it, because
It's not
I'm
fun.
not willing to do that.
well,
It's
no,
not
if he's
fun.
harassing cars,
And it's not fun being
on
trans.
the road.
Maybe he's filming an episode of Nathan For You or something.
No, he's been doing it for a while,
been
but we
doing
got to
it
go
for
to break.
years.
We'll talk more about that. This is the end of my trans rant, but if anyone... Trans rant over. But love trans people, obsessed with them, keep fighting your good fight.
Add it to
and,
bingo. Trans rant.
happy, yeah, seriously, add it. Happy Pride Month. I love you, all trans people. Okay, and we'll be back from break in just a second. All right. So you know that Noah went to the Taylor Swift concert with me.
Yes.
On Friday, and we got the same
New
seat.
Swiftie in town.
Yeah, new Swiftie in town. I'm like, here's the thing that she's released all these like international dates, like tons,
Right.
more than she has in the US. And
Oh my God, you're
so
kidding.
Chris, this is Chris's way of getting me to travel. Now he
Oh my
goes,
God.
he sent it to me. What a
shit.
sweetie. He goes,
Oh, here we
he
go.
sent me all the dates. Why are you saying here we go?
What are you going to say?
Here
Love
we go.
bomb. Here we go. He's love bombing her with tickets to her favorite thing. That's how he's going to get her to Singapore. Okay, well, I get to see Singapore and Taylor Swift. And so no, he sent me a screenshot and was like, we should go pick these that you want to go to, and we'll try to go. And I'm like, this is the best thing, because he'll get to go see his little country that he wants to go see and pick out his postcards and go
Dumb
run
little
around
country.
and try his little foods that he wants
Choose
to
the
try and
country
wait in line.
Choose the country with no mountains so that you don't have to go hiking.
Yes.
You can
yes,
go hiking without mountains. You can go hiking on the beach. You can go hiking
it's not dangerous.
by a lake. You can go
I'm
hiking in
glad
the
that Chris
desert.
doesn't love hiking. He just likes moving. He likes being on the move. He doesn't like to sit and have like a nice tea, as Anya says. We learned in Europe. Sorry, I'm talking a million miles a minute, but I just had a latte. Anya, we found out in Europe, and I have found this for a while, but I just, you notice something and you're like, I'm going to wait for the right time to like bring this up because she might be offended that I've been harboring this thought about her. But Anya, when she says the word TEA, it takes her about 30 minutes to get through the word. Like 13 to 30. She says, oh, you guys, and does anyone want some tea? She lingers on the word tea. You'll start to notice it. She can't help it. She loves tea so much she wants to taste it when she says it. Anya,
Never
Anya,
knew.
tell us
And
about
then I
tea.
caught myself.
She
I
keeps
was like,
catching
I do
herself.
not. And then the next day I'd be like, I'm going to get a cup of tea. And it was just like a little long. And I'm like, oh my God, I am doing it. What is
You
up
can
with
watch
that?
a couple episodes
That's so funny.
of Monk while
But
you wait for her to finish that.
And then Nikki was like, it's actually a lot like the woman who cultivates bees. Have you seen her? And then she sent me all these
I
Instagrams
think
of a woman
Chris
that's
made
like,
that connection.
I'm
Yeah.
saving the bees.
Have you ever seen the Bee Woman?
Yes, we talked about her on the show.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. We long ago. But oh my God, you would love it, Mom. She's this woman that goes into places. She's obsessed with bees. She's in Texas, and she goes in and rescues bees.
Oh,
where it's
I've
like
kind of seen this girl.
there's going to be like a barn that's like, bulldozed, and she's like, and there was another great day of saving the bees.
Oh, boy.
But she
Yeah.
talks like a
No.
bee, and so and that's why she doesn't get stung. Is she is a bee? She like goes in, and she's like, and I found the queen, and then I placed her in the hive, and then all the bees slowly went and met with her, and it was another great day of saving the bees. And I'm gonna go have some tea. But it's so soothing. It's so
Wow.
ASMR. But
Yeah.
she is a bee. I think
That's
this woman's a bee.
amazing. Those people that go in and get the big hives.
I would do it in a second. I'm not scared of bees at all. It's
Really?
one of my
They look
superpowers.
furry.
I'm not
Ah.
scared of bees.
What about
I've never been a
hornets?
girl that's like, get it away.
well, I guess that's how they get.
Yes.
If you
if
do
you
that.
are relaxed, bees will die if they sting you. They don't want to sting you. So if you are just relaxed around them, they could walk all over your hand. They're not going to sting you. If they're
Have
on
you
your
ever been
soda
stung
can,
by
don't
a
go
bee?
like, Yeah, but it doesn't hurt that bad. It's not like people act the way I act on 2-lane highways. Like, I have a right to on 2-lane highways when people are driving erratically.
I relate to you 100% on that.
There's a good chance that we will. There's not like, oh, it's going to hurt a little bit. We're going to die catastrophically if there is any kind of user error. But then girls are like at a picnic table and a bee is on their soda and they start running around like there's a forest fire starting. And it's like, calm down. Just move the can gently to
Maybe they're
another
allergic.
place. Get out of here.
They can't all be allergic.
They can't all be. I think girls, it's like the word moist. They like being scared of little things. And I know that they are.
No, I'm kidding.
I think some are actually scared.
Yeah.
But I think it is, and I'm definitely guilty of this too. So if you're scared of bees, I'm not talking shit on you because I do believe you have a real fear. And we all have irrational fears. But I think that bees and sharks, we all need to like cut a little slack and like chill out about and don't like freak out, or bats. And stuff like that.
Oh my God, bats will leave you alone, really. I mean, I was walking around at one of the places I stayed at. There were so many bats, and they would just fly around. Bats. They would get really close to you. It was almost like they were like, "Check it out, I'm gonna fucking kill you," and they would fake you out, but it would never touch you. Never.
They
have echolocation,
and they
look
look
moths.
Moths are like bugs. And
what about wasps?
I like them
are you
too.
scared of wasps?
I want to pet them.
Because a wasp could sting you over and over and over again.
A wasp always looks like it's dragging cargo places. Like it's always just like it's always.
And it'll come back and sting you.
Wasps have a vendetta. But I also
How about a crow, Julie? How about a raven?
I know about these.
I believe that wasps are only stinging. I could be wrong. I believe they only sting out of defense. So again, if you remain calm, nothing is going to hurt you.
Yeah.
What if you're not calm?
But that's what I'm saying. You have to talk yourself into understanding that the fear that you're thinking about is not real. The only reason that they would ever hurt you is because you're scared. So the thing that starts it is your fear. And if you can, and listen, I have so many fears. So I don't know. I don't judge you if you're scared of wasps. They are kind of creepy. But what I do know about crows is that one of the funniest moments during eras on Friday night, Noah. Okay, so I was just whispering things in Noah's ear all night to just tell her what was coming up and things. And then all of a sudden, Willow starts, the song Willow. And it's the witchy one. It's like, life was a willow and it went right to your whim. And she's dressed in like a cape and she has these orbs and they're all playing with them. And I go, this is my mom's favorite song. And then Noah's watching it. And then Noah whispers to me, what did you whisper?
I was like, oh, I can see why Julie likes it because it totally has crow vibes.
All right.
That's all that's missing are the crows.
It totally had a crow vibe. It was so funny.
I love crows. Thank you, Noah.
It was so crowy.
Crowy.
It was crowy Kardashian. It was a crow vibe. You do like witchy things.
I do. They are mysterious and I like it.
But you changed your mind about crows to me. You sent me a text one day that was like, sorry, I'm out on crows. Don't get me one.
I researched
Nikki,
them a little bit.
You get me a crow. I was talking to my crow guy.
Like you were in on it. You're like, I'm going to get her a crow.
You should open a place called the Crow Bar.
Oh
my God. That is so funny.
There's a great band called Crowbar.
Really?
Oh, is
metal
there?
band.
There's also a tool called Crowbar.
Oh my God, you're kidding.
Wait, Brian, I'm going to kill you.
There was a place in my town called Two Ravens and it closed, so you could open that.
Oh, we could reboot.
Does anybody know the difference between a raven and a crow?
No, but I bet you do.
I
was just about to ask because we talked about this on the podcast, and I think we looked it up once, but we want to know again. What is it?
Well, it's really difficult to tell them apart, in my opinion, because I've been in parks and I've been like, oh, that's a raven. I messed it up like that.
A craven, Wes Craven.
That's a craven. That's Wes Craven. It was Wes Craven. And then he started directing. Basically, if you want to tell them the different in the wild, if they're different, ravens are just bigger. That's how you tell. If you see a really big giant crow, that's probably a raven. You can also look at their beaks a little curvier, but the way I tell them apart is that if you see a gigantic crow, it's most likely a raven. If you see a crow,
you need a crow to compare it to, though, to know it's a raven. You need something.
Well, you have to bring a crow with you wherever you go for this to work.
Mom, that's why we'll get you one so you can tell which one.
That's the only reason I want one is compare them.
But
wait, why are you off crows?
Well, because if you do research them, they are really
Hard to take care of.
Yeah, they are very.
Did you just think it was going to sit on your shoulder? Like
thought
you
you
just could
could
feed
just,
it like peanuts or
cast
whatever, and then
spells?
it would just shit
No.
outside or
they
something?
get mad at you if you aren't giving them enough attention.
Yep.
They
You already live with a crow.
That's why you love them.
That's why when my mom and I were watching, I think I told this on the podcast, but you made me laugh so hard when we were watching that like Tom Hanks movie that we tried to start. My Name is Otto or something.
Oh,
A Man
yeah.
Named Otto.
Right.
Yes.
And we started it, and it was like this, just about this guy that's just like in a grocery store, like complaining about stuff. And mom
Right.
was like, I live with this. I don't need to watch it.
I said that.
Yes, it was
Oh
so
my
funny because it
God.
was true. It was just
Oh my
like
God.
a guy dad's age being
Right.
kind of like upset about like a nail at a
he must-
hardware store.
I must have been a bad day for your dad that day.
Yeah. No, it was cute. It was
I
funny.
enjoyed that
You were
film.
trying to be funny.
I
You
met the
did?
people who made A Man Called Otto this weekend or yesterday or 2 days
Oh,
ago. Yes.
God. Well,
Why?
I'm going to
To-
give it another chance then.
No, we just didn't watch it because
Yeah.
I can't. I kind of can't with Tom Hanks anymore, and I know that's crazy, but
I
like,
could if it was the right role.
wait. So how did you meet the people from Man Called Otto?
I was at a going away party for a friend, and it was just like a bunch of Hollywood types. It was crazy because I went to this
Did you
party.
walk up to them and say comedy or drama? Did you
Do you
your
want me to
picket
talk
line?
to you, or would you like me to leave? That's
Yeah. That's Brian's intro
Oh,
when he's
nice.
on the picket lines for WGA
Oh,
strike.
God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you
No.
still doing that, Brian? Just
Yeah, no, I went picketed. There was a G Word Adam Ruins Everything reunion at Netflix yesterday. It was actually right before. I'm so proud of myself for getting back to record the podcast in time because I was cutting it close.
Wow. Good for you
Oh.
for going.
Yeah.
Okay. So you went to this party and these guys
It
were
was
there.
a going away party for my friend who's going to the UK, and he's a little older than me. And I went to this party with Allie, thank God, because I did not know a soul at this party. Have you ever gone to a party and you're like, I do not know a single person here. I do not know what I'm doing here.
Why
just
were
want
you
to.
there then?
I just wanted to say goodbye to my friend who was.
Oh, so you
leaving.
knew one soul,
I knew the person throwing the party, but every
but
single.
he's busy.
Yeah. I could talk to him for like 5 minutes, and then every single other person.
This is
was
what
a
wives
stranger.
are for.
Yes.
there you go. Good job, Brian.
You
Good
know,
marriage.
I think I have been to. I have done that before. I have been to things, and I kind of wear it as a badge of honor of like, I don't know, like you just go up and talk to people. I know that seems like so impossible, but you just kind of you have your story is I know no one here, and so now you have an in to talk to people to be like I literally know no one here. Hi, I'm Brian. You know what I mean? Like that's your angle.
That's
In.
if everybody was normal, but this was a Hollywood party and everyone was
Okay.
so Hollywood. I mean, they were so much more like successful than me, and like they did not give a fuck about anything I had to say at any point.
Good.
So I would talk to people about, their things, and there were nice people there. I mean, this is my friends, all their friends, but like
Yeah.
you can tell when you're like, wait, no one's asked me or Allie a single question this entire time. I've just been I've been going around interviewing people
Right.
the
Yes.
entire
Unpaid.
party.
That's like going on dates with, I think men and women do it to each other, but like I feel you must have experienced that during your year of dating or whatever it was, where like some people just don't lob the question back or have
Yeah.
any interest in you whatsoever. My parents and I used to have a good friend who would never ask me about myself. Do you remember?
Oh, she's whispering it off camera. If you're not on YouTube, she's whispering it.
Well, she'll remember. I had a friend back in the day that I would hang out with like all the time. And I started to say to my parents, like, and my parents really do have an issue with someone not like celebrating my accolades, as my dad calls it.
Especially your father.
Yeah.
He does not.
I have
put
a
up
story
with
about that too, but like they can't stand when like I've done something cool or the family's done something cool or like my mom has like built a fireplace with like done stonework and they'll walk in and they won't say anything about it, even though they know it's brand new. Like they withhold like compliments because they're fucking jealous, like that kind of person. We have a lot of those people in our family, in our life. Like it's just, and I can be that way too with people. My ugliest side of myself is when someone wants a compliment desperately. And I just will like be like, not gonna give it. Like, I don't know when like, there were times there are times where people you just feel them want it so much, and you're like, I know this would make you happy because you want it, but you're trying too hard, buddy. You gotta like one time someone was like shredding on Anya's guitar, like backstage. This guy that worked at this venue was like shredding on her guitar,
Right.
and you could tell that it was impressive what he was doing, and you could tell he desperately wanted us to be like, whoa, man, because like it was cool.
And you didn't say
But
it.
I was so annoyed because he was doing it too hard. So it was like probably fucking
and
up her
ruining
tuning.
your guitar.
Yeah,
It's
like,
probably
I'm about to
scratching
play.
her fretboard.
Yeah.
Like, get
Oh,
off
yeah.
of it.
That would bug me.
But we said it was so hard to say nothing. And when he
Oh
put it
my
down, it was just a silent green room. It was
my
so
God.
good. Because all he was doing was trying to get us to go like, holy shit, man. And in my head, I was thinking that. But
That
anyway.
to me is so That happens
so
all the
cuh.
time at like Guitar Center or any
Yes.
kind of music shop you go to. There's so many of those people there, and I hate it.
But when it's someone's guitar, like Anya's guitar,
We're threes.
Oh, even worse.
worse.
Oh,
We're,
yeah.
we're the Enneagram for this kind of person is a 3, and I'm that kind of person too. But I play it a little bit cooler. I'm desperate for approval and compliments, and I will. But I did the thing of like for my looks and my like outfits and stuff. I told my friends in like 2000. It was probably 2018 or 19 to not compliment my looks anymore.
Oh, yeah.
Ever.
I remember you even said that to me.
And even though I want it desperately and I depend on it, now I've safeguarded myself that I think every time they want to and they just can't. So now if they don't do it, it's because they want to and I told them not to. And if they genuinely don't even think my outfit's cute, I've now convinced, now I'm safe in my head.
Right.
And if they want
There
to,
you
they
go.
can't. So it safeguards me, but I'm totally like that person. I just have a little bit more self-awareness
Right.
to not look so desperate, but I have been desperate before. But we were talking about people coming in. So I had this friend that was never giving me, like never asking me about me or any interest in anything. Let's like leave compliments out of it. Who gives a shit? And one time my family, I was like, I'm going to invite him over. It's like kind of the final straw with him. I'm getting
it's a
nothing out of
he.
this out of this
Okay.
relationship. Yeah. Do
Okay.
you remember who this was?
I think so.
And we invited him over and like we played a game where it was like, let's see how long he can be here without in our kitchen, in our house, and not comment one thing or ask one inquisitive, curious question about anything to do with anything outside of himself. And he didn't do it for hours. And that's when I was like, I'm going to start ghosting this friendship.
Yeah.
And we're not close anymore.
Yeah.
And I mean, I see him every now and again, and I love when I see him because I do have cherished memories from our friendship, but
Yeah.
you gotta go. You gotta be, you gotta.
Reciprocate.
Yes, that's
Can
the
I just
word.
set the
Well, it's a
record
jealousy
straight on
thing,
the
I
party? Because I
Party?
do want to say
Yeah.
that the producer, whoever it was, from A Man Called Otto, I talked to them for a long time, and she was the only one that asked me questions. So for the record,
Oh, that's nice.
she did ask me questions.
Everyone go
She
watch
was
A Man
good.
Called Otto.
I don't want that. Yeah, because that was the only thing I named.
Yeah.
Something
I saw the
watched
new
last-
Wes Anderson,
Ooh.
and Tom Hanks is in it. And I gotta say, even though I didn't love the film, I enjoyed.
What did
seeing
you say about the film? It made me laugh. It's like it's your most cutting criticism ever. And I've already said it on the
It's
podcast about
mean.
something else, but it's so funny to say this about something, and I want everyone to start using it when it's appropriate.
I love Wes Anderson.
Yeah, we all do.
I love Darjeeling Limited. I love the Royal Tenenbaums with all my heart. I think they're genius.
Hell
And I
yes.
do love a couple others. But I will say,
Rushmore.
in the past few years, it has seemed like he is more and more concerned with aesthetics. And I just don't get a vibe that he's like in touch with his sexuality. I'm not saying I'm not accusing him
No.
of being.
The
It's like he's
criticism
not
is he's not having sex. And that
He's
is
not
so
having sex.
funny to me because it is. We all know art where we're like, this person's not getting laid. Like something they're a little frustrated. They're too cutesy. They're
It's
not
like
in touch with their
childish.
sexuality. Yes.
It's like a little kid. It's a movie for children, but it's for adults.
There was a band that Matt was listening to, and Anya was like, "These these people sound like they've never had sex. It's like adult men singing. It's just the funniest criticism ever.
Like you hear a band and you're like, oh, fuck yeah. Like these drums.
This guy's fucked.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
This bass.
These guys fuck
fuck.
all the time. Yes.
And then you
That's
go watch
so
Wes
funny.
Anderson. But Tom Hanks's hair is so beautiful in this film. I don't know if it's his
What?
real hair. It looked like it's white and silvery, or it's an amazing wig. But he looks so dapper. And I will say, Wes Anderson, like the aesthetics of this movie are so beautiful. It's called Asteroid City. Everyone's skin is like this cool, weird orangey tan. Everyone's lipstick is this beautiful red, orangey red. It's amazing. Everything's like pastel blue and yellow and pink. And Scarlett
you know-
Johansson is great.
Okay.
But Tom Hanks looks great.
Don't worry. Wes Anderson's not watching this. He's not going to take offense. He knows he's cutesy. Film directors understand that there's going to be criticism about what they do. Every creator does. You
Yes.
know, like this is going to exist. It's okay to have a criticism. I watched last night. So Anya's favorite director is Noah Baumbach.
Okay.
And
Noah Baumbach.
Back or whatever. I've
What?
never. I
The
want
way
my
you
Baumbach.
say anything is funny.
It is. I've never watched any
Noah
of his
Baumbach.
films. And have you watched his films, Bri?
He went to college with one of my ex-girlfriends, so I am
Jeez.
all in the
Wow.
Baumbach verse.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, is it Bach or Bach? I want to just get it right
Oh,
so
I
I
don't
don't sound
know.
like a tool. Okay.
I
Well,
say Baumbach.
Baumbach.
Noah
Okay.
Baumbach.
So now
Baumbach.
Noah Baumbach back.
Baby
He.
got Bach.
I watched Francis Ha was my first.
Francis Ha made
Oh,
me
yeah, yeah.
weep. Tears.
Really?
I wept. Yes.
Wept.
Wept.
Yeah.
I wept.
I weeped and weeped all
I
night.
wept over the Bach. I could
Okay.
not stop crying after watching that.
Why? Why?
Oh, it just struck me. The parents at the end watching her go and then her finding herself, and it just
Yeah.
reminded me of me.
It reminded me of Girls.
And if you
the
love your
show
parents, I
Girls.
feel like if you love your parents,
Okay, I gotta watch
And you
this.
know those are real parents, Greta Gerwig's real
Really?
parents.
Oh my God.
Yeah, there were some scenes.
What is this we're talking about?
It's a film. It's a film about a girl in New York City who's
what's
like
the
trying to
name of
find
it?
herself. It's called Francis Ha.
Okay,
H-A.
okay.
Francis Frances Ha. And I find I've only watched 2 of his films, and so I watched that one, and then I watched Greenberg. And she's also, I love Greta Gerwig. I will watch anything. I just love the way she talks, and it's kind of like this, and just really like she almost draws out her words like T. And it's like, I just love her face and her look, and she's not super skinny, which I appreciate about like I'm so tired of seeing like anorexic actresses and like people who are just like stunningly like, filled up and all this stuff. Like, I just can't really deal with it anymore. There's a new video that shows what J-Law has done to her face by Lauryn Hill, who is my like god on who like, she's the girl on YouTube who will tell you what actresses have done when they don't tell you.
Wow.
Because she has had all this stuff done and she is trained to know. And there's a new video that she's like, I think it's one of my best videos ever that I did on J-Law. And to show what perfect choices that J-Law has made on her face. She talks exactly like that. And I can't
believe
even
you.
watch it because I want to get it all done, because J-Law does look amazing and doesn't look like she has had work done. But yeah, and there's no shame in it. But yeah, if you saw her in Hot Ones, I can't wait to see her new film. Anyway, Frances Ha, whatever. I liked it. It's all in black and white. It makes it a little hard to watch, but I'm like, was like fucking Three Stooges.
I love that though.
Yeah, it's cool, but it's kind of
Yeah. Oh, it's too cut.
like we get it.
why?
It's
What
an
was
artsy.
the choice? Why
What
did
is
they
the
do it?
choice?
Why was it in black and white? That's the thing.
That's what I want to know. Why?
I get
But
it in Roger Rabbit.
Okay, yeah, because it's like there's like a world that
Or in the what's the
Wizard
famous,
of Oz.
Yeah, the Wizard of Oz. That makes perfect
that's-
sense.
or when they didn't have color film yet.
Yeah,
Like any
Yeah.
movie that fit into that genre.
yeah.
Or
that,
not-
Smartless doc.
Yeah, the Smartless doc is also in black and white, and I like it. By the way, whenever you take a picture of yourself and you put it into black and white, you look prettier.
yeah,
It's always
I
going to
love
look
black
better.
and white photos.
So it is.
For
Like, there's
people-
a reason
Were
because you
people
look
in the
better.
20s watching black and white movies being like, this is so cool. Why is there no color?
They were saying,
Yeah.
that's so funny. So anyway, I watched Greenberg, and Brian, you are Greenberg.
Oh, I haven't seen Greenberg.
You are Greenberg.
Tell me about
I've seen it
him.
so many times. I want you to watch it, Brian.
It's good. It's Ben Stiller plays this guy who's like got out of a mental institution. That's not why you're Greenberg. He got out of a mental institution. He's staying at his brother's house while they're on vacation. And his brother's a big time Hollywood successful guy. His whole family's out of town, so he just got out of a mental hospital, so he's staying at his brother's house to take care of their dog and just like house guest while they're out of town. But they also have a housekeeper who's played by Greta Gerwig, the girl who I really like, who talks like this all the time.
I have to find her, yes.
This is all on Netflix, both these movies. And then then they kind of develop a relationship reluctantly. And he's like 49, I think or he's like mid 40s, and she's like 23, which is problematic for me. Not problematic in the sense that, I think it should be canceled, but I'm just like,
is it true? Is she that age?
In the movie, yes.
But in real life?
Well, when she shot the movie, this is a long time ago. This is like 2010. The movie came out, I think. Got it. 2012, maybe. But
Greenberg is
good.
the kind of guy all of us know who is reminiscing about his past in a band. He was signed for like 8 months, and he cannot stop talking about these 8 months of his life where he was signed.
No, that's not true. Sorry,
Yeah,
I have to cut in. He's the
definitely
one that
stuck
gave up
his-
on the band.
Right.
And so
but
he's like
stuck
over
in
it.
the past. And he cannot get past his days of like, I had this deal, but I fucked,
Yeah, he's one of the people that are like, these kids are saying cap now. And it's like,
Yes.
yeah, well, you're old. That's why. Like, move on. But Brian, I think you should watch it because he really reminded me of you in that how he's a really good person, but he can be very blunt and like have strong opinions that can sometimes be like people can take as like, this guy is maybe rude or something. Not that I've ever thought you were rude, but like,
Poor Brian.
No, why?
Wait.
I'm not saying anything bad.
I'm trying. I know I like this because I'm trying to figure that out, especially like on stage. I want to make sure that I'm being my authentic self. And
You know what can help?
What?
I haven't seen
Quitting?
you on stage ever. No, definitely not. You're so good. Like I would, and this is just me not having seen you for literally almost 8 years now, but like anything that might be off-putting to the audience about you and your intensity can be offset by you like smiling a little bit or laughing at what you're talking about and not trying to stay in the frame of mind when you wrote it and having more of a, like, I just think any comedian can benefit from smiling more in their act, obviously including me. I've been watching footage and I'm like, if you smile more, people are going to know that you're joking and they're not going to, because it's, and that's not a trick. Yes, that's not a trick. It's just like in my head, I'm trying to recreate as angry as I was when I wrote this joke so that it's, perfectly exemplified. But like they need to be let in on the fact that I know I'm kidding a little bit and that I'm having fun.
Right.
Yes.
And smiling
That's a
can be
great point,
overused. But I think that, I learned it watching Taylor Swift. I'm not even going to lie. My performance on Saturday night was amazing because I just watched her on Friday night and just like, her interactions with the crowd, her being so grateful that they're there, her just like enjoying every moment. And it just, it's really good for me to see all these fucking concerts. I'm going to see Ben Folds tonight, actually.
Oh my
the
God.
Stiefel.
Wait, can I ask a question about the Brian thing really quick?
Yes.
So when he has a joke that he thinks might be off-putting or ostracizes the audience, you're saying smile a little bit, right? Because that gives the audience a clue that he's in on this. He's not a freak.
Yeah, I don't think it'll like 100%. And I don't even think that's his issue. But
what if he doesn't know which joke to smile on? Like, what if he's like, are you mystified?
Overall, go out there and be a little bit cheerier in general for every kind of performer. Unless it's like really your bag to be like a grumpus.
Let's see an example.
Anthony Jeselnik smiles at his jokes. And his jokes are, because he just has like a little, he has a little sociopathic smile. Yeah, let's hear an example.
About what? Like
a piece of your act that you.
I didn't ask you. Anya did. I would never do this.
I don't go out there. I don't go out there and smile.
I was rolling with it.
I find that if I'm smiling more, I'm just having more fun, and then that makes the set better.
Yes.
But I
gotta do it too.
A lot of my stuff on stage is talking about how I'm like a curmudgeon and kind of like I have like an old man vibe to me, and so it does go along with not smiling, but And then that's what I was saying about just kidding. Remember last week?
Yes.
I said I had to learn how to say just kidding because so many times I would say something that was a joke and people would be like, what? What are you talking about? And then so I learned to go, joke, joke, joke. I'm just kidding. And then that puts people, I don't know what that makes people feel, but at least they know I'm joking.
I've recently said when people get offended or go like, whoa, that's too much. I've said, let me just backtrack and say I've done nothing wrong here in what I've said. All I've said is that I made a reference to Anthony Bourdain committing suicide in a hotel. He did that. I didn't do it to him. I'm not making fun of it. I'm literally using it as
did you guys just find out?
I like talk them through it. I go, your offense is not warranted. Like, I understand if I'm like, and that fucking idiot hung himself in that place. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying, oh, his daughter's sad. Isn't that hilarious? She lost her dad. I'm just stating that he did it. So I'm not, then you should get mad at Tom Brokaw who broke the news to you too then, because I'm doing nothing different than that. I'm just referencing it. And yes, it is a punchline, but it's not making fun of him. You gotta know the difference. So I think that instead of saying just kidding, yell at them about why you're right. We'll be right back with more show. What are you looking at?
Oh, I'm just thinking, you were talking about how people were like, oh God, how dare you say that? People, don't you find this in your audience? I mean, that people are looking to find something off like that to say,
because they have no identity because they're white and we don't have a lot of culture. And so people need to identify themselves by what they're offended by, because it means that I'm something like, what was it?
Why would they pay money?
Because their boyfriend likes me. Or their son, or their it's always the person that is brought along.
Right.
And Rob Thomas and I were talking about the person who gets brought along and is just sitting there like a grump the whole time because they're like jealous of their partner. And it's true. Like I identify as a Swiftie because I'm white. I have nothing else. I don't have like a culture to be like, wow, this is who I am. Like I'm boring. I'm a basic bitch. And so I grasp onto this identity because I want to feel different. I want to feel unique. And my obsession with her makes me feel that way. And a lot of people don't have that. I would suggest people who get offended get into Taylor Swift.
I want to help the whites for a second.
You already are, but yeah.
Yes. I feel like there's a way we can figure, because I think sometimes white people feel like they have no culture at all. And I think sometimes they're overlooking or they're discounting the culture that they have. Like if you're Jewish.
We're not allowed to have culture though.
Why not?
Like, because people are just like, it's fucking white people shit. Like it's like,
if you're from Texas,
I'm not playing a victim, by the way.
A cowboy
I don't think we
hat
should.
Culture. Like if you're from
and that's
the
why
deep
people
South.
latch onto that, or they like wear like this is all dumb shit. It's not like kente cloths and like things that actually have meaning and like or head wraps
like
or
this.
Where do
What's
you pick
wrong with that?
It's like
no, I don't get that. Where you go to another state, why do they talk
if
lazy?
I'm around Kirsten, I start talking like Kirsten. If I'm
I want to know where this lazy talk comes from.
Because it's just a different way of life, man.
Hot,
and it's hot and it's cool.
The
and
humidity
it's like,
weighs down your bottom lip.
Yeah,
that I
like
get.
literally
hot.
cords get a little tired. I love it. Why does anyone have any different dialect? It's because it's just
it just seems sloppy to me.
What do you mean
is
how
a little-
Kirsten talks?
What does she do?
Well, like if I'm around Kirsten, I'll be like doing Kirsten things. Like I don't know how to describe it, but I'll be like,
hey, do you think it's cool if we like run into this store and buy some pots?
That's my impression
really
of Kirsten. But like I will start impersonating Kirsten. My whole act is just all of my funniest people together. My persona on stage.
Yeah.
When I do something that's like, and then you gotta that's a little bit Chris Convey, Lizzie Cooperman. I do you where it's like, I'm not doing that. Like any kind of thing, because I'm a person that has cut out magazines and made a collage, and that's
You're a chameleon.
Yes,
that's right.
That's what artists do. They absorb things around them. And there's some artists, and there's some things I do that are completely unique and me. But I would say I paint with things. I pick up things from other people that I go, that's really funny. I'm going to use that.
Yeah.
And I don't think that I'm going to use it, but my subconscious mind does. But
well, you think it's funny, so you catch it. And
or I'll just like, I'm trying to think of an example, but Chris always used to be like, and then that. Like he would kind of say things like that, and I'm like, I'm not gonna do that. ever. And I was like, that's a really funny way to say that.
Yeah.
And so I just started doing it because it was funny, and then it made it in my act, and now it's like a way. Now it seems like something I created, but I
Yeah.
did it.
I think
just
you
kinda-
created it and he picked it up.
No, no, it was always a
Snap.
God. Jesus Christ!
No, I
Chris
do.
can't get a break here.
No. I think you've been doing that for a long time.
Really?
Yes.
No,
Maybe it's
I
true.
can. I'm almost positive I got it from him.
You sure?
Yeah, I really remember hearing him do that, and then catching myself doing it and being like, "That's very Chris."
No, like
But,
when I saw a comedian smile, and then I said, I think I should start smiling.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It
The
took me
first
a
time you saw
long
a
time to
comedian smile.
perfect it, but
Poor Brian. Quit
Oh my
picking on
God,
him.
Brian's gonna be like grinning like that on stage.
Oh God, please. We don't want
what's the
that.
deal with cards?
That looks like a cringe emoji with cards. No, I mean, Brian, didn't you impersonate a comedian when you first started?
Oh my
Like, who-
God, I
who-
went
who
through
did you
so
sound like?
many phases.
Me too.
There was a time when I called myself Frantic Frangie, not literally in my head. I was like, I'm frantic, because I would go on stage and I would be like, kind of like a Richard Lewis style, like
Yes.
what's going on?
Oh,
Everything's
yeah.
so why am I? Oh, and then I got this going on, and it was just yelling and so out of control.
Holding onto your hat like
I
that?
used to hear about Richard Lewis. The one anecdote I heard about him was that he waits in a limo outside the door to the green room, like outside the door to the theater. And they're like, they're ready for you. And he walks straight on stage and then straight back into his limo. He spends no time in the building. He just goes. And I remember using to think like, that's insane. Like, how doesn't he have to prepare? And like, how does he know what he's going to say? Like, he just goes. And now I'm like, that would be,
He's preparing
That's
in the
my
limo.
ideal.
Yeah.
Is to not prepare at all, have no chance to. No, you're just in the limo on your phone or something.
Oh, yeah.
I would think. Okay, so Richard Lewis, you impersonated. Who else?
There was the
Oh, wait, Mulaney.
I mean, I impersonated Mulaney a little bit.
Who hasn't?
I mean, there was the era of the baby Burrs. I definitely
Oh yeah,
was a little
baby
Burr.
Burrs.
Yeah, no, there was this period of time between 2012 to 2016 or something.
To
where-
20 now. Yeah.
where every white male comedian in New York City was like trying to do a little Bill Burr impression. They were called the
I
baby
came
Burrs.
up in the baby Hedberg phase of like
Oh,
so
yeah.
many guys just like talking like this into a microphone and just going like what's like doing one-liners and looking down and dying of heroin overdose. But
And then
It,
Norm Macdonald doing the the leaning into your punchline stuff.
oh my God, Norm Macdonald! I saw a clip yesterday and I was like, Jesus Christ, this guy is so fucking good.
He's the
Because
best.
he took a trope that I'm just like, what are you gonna get out of this? Like, they say, what happens in Vegas stays.
Oh
in
my
Vegas.
God, that
I
joke
saw
is
that.
so
clip?
good.
It was on
That
Hell.
joke
It
is
was
so good.
funny because that is such a tired
Wait, what's the
thing. Like,
punchline?
the punchline is like, they don't mean like, if you get what he says, he gives some example like they don't mean like if you get a disease there, you're not going to have it when you get home. What that phrase means, what they're saying is that you can fuck a prostitute and she's not going to tell your wife. And he goes, not like these jabbering prostitutes where
These
back
small
home.
town, yeah.
These small town whores who are just blabbing all over.
my God.
Diane, then he gives an example of like two women in like a getting their hair done and she's like, I fucked your husband last week. And it's like it's so funny because that is what that phrase is about.
Yes.
It's about like these prostitutes won't tell their
Oh my
wife.
God.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
And it gave me so much hope because it seems like a subject matter that is just, you could never find anything funny in that phrase because it's so well trodden and
Yeah.
like so boring and like so to say, even making fun of the fact that it's is kind of because it's just overdone.
Yeah.
And that just gave me, I love jokes like that give me hope about really no subject is hack.
I used
You
to
can
have
always find
anxiety
something.
about that. Like, aren't we going to run out of stuff to joke
No.
about? There's so many comedians, so many specials. Isn't there going to be like, we've covered all the topics now, but really it's infinite because everybody can have a different perspective on infinite topics. And so it never runs out.
Yeah, you could even I always think about if Norm Macdonald were still alive, all the jokes that would exist right now that don't because of him, all the uncovered, all the artifacts that are out there to be found. Like there is a world of hilarity that would, and Greg Giraldo, if he was around, like all the Trump stuff, he would have told, like Joan Rivers, like think of all those jokes are out there.
George Carlin.
Those people were the
have
only
to
ones
find them.
looking for them. They were the James Cameron for those Titanics, you know, and no one else's can go get down there without imploding. So
Beautiful
those are
metaphor,
just
Nikki.
never going to be seen. Dad would probably go down in that submarine, don't you think?
No.
No, he wouldn't. Actually, he's scared of depths and heights.
He wouldn't.
He's kind of.
He was the
he's
first
not a
to say,
danger
I would have
junkie."
never done that.
Yeah, these
And
idiots.
who would do that?
Chris. I'm
Oh.
not Mom. Chris would do it now. If they had an extra submarine made of the same things, he'd be like, "It's a once in a lifetime opportunity." I'm like, "Yeah, that lifetime's over." He would do it. My boyfriend does not have the chip in his brain that says dangerous.
Oh.
And I'm worried
And
about
you've got
that's what
that
you're
danger.
for. That's all I'm made of.
That's your first word.
It was my first
That
word.
was your first word.
I just don't. It's so weird to love someone so much who you relate. As soon as I realized he wasn't born with, like, almost like born with like an arm, where I'm like, how can you not pick that up with your right hand? He's like, I don't have an arm. So when I go, how could you ever want to climb Mount Everest when you know that or K2, 1 out of 6 people die? And he's like, because I just.
Does he want to do
He's
that?
not scared of death.
Does he want to do that?
Yes, he wants to do it all. He'll go on any roller coaster. He'll go on any bungee thing. He'll go on any crazy expedition.
Wow.
I couldn't relate to this less.
You told
And
me that story about how he was in Abu Dhabi and he rode those RVs or whatever, and he flipped his over. Did you hear? We were
No, yeah, I'm sure he almost
my
died in
God.
Abu
He
Dhabi.
was like, I flipped over my RV, and he's
When
like,
he
it
had
was
a
awesome.
daddy.
Yeah, he had an Abu Dhabi and an Abu Dhabi, and he was there for like 9 months. And I know whenever we drive past Forerunners, he's like, "That looks fun," and I'm like, "When I want to be single, I'll send you out on one of those. I can't wait." Yeah, just
You got to see that documentary with Chris, Free Solo. About the
that's what I'm
climber.
gonna want to be after he watches that, and he's like, "This looks cool." I'm gonna go. You know what? I'm free and solo right now. We're done because I
Because
cannot
they
live with
test
someone.
that guy's brain, and he is missing.
He's
a
missing.
very important part of his
It has to be.
fear center.
There's no way that Chris could I just realized there's something missing, or I have something missing.
Does he climb at all? Does he scramble on
No.
rocks?
No, but he
Oh.
would. No, when we were in Tel Aviv, he was on these rocks jumping around and then there was a sign, thank God, in English that said stay off the rocks. And I was like, heed that sign, because he's a man of the law.
Yeah.
But given some rocks, he will start running all over them.
right.
And he's got weak ankles. He knows that.
He's got to come with me on some scrambles.
He would go with you on any of those things. And he loves adventure. And
What's a scramble?
You could spelunk.
Scrambling is like rock climbing without any equipment, where you're not doing a sheer cliff. You're just like kind of having to go on your hands and knees to get up on rocks to climb a mountain. Not a mountain, but like a pile of
Is it
rocks or
bouldering?
something.
Is it the same as
And
bouldering?
you know what?
No.
While you guys do that, I'll download Raya again and just get my profile ready, because he's gonna die. He's an older. He's aging. His body is not like. Do not put him in these situations, Mom. Matt Green,
I know.
my brother-in-law,
I give him
goes
grief
on these things
every
called
time.
14ers, where there's like 14
Yeah.
of these mountains that are above this amount. You know, Brian, and he's done
Yeah.
like 8 of the 14s.
Yeah, I say, did you get your life insurance, Matt, before you leave?
Yeah,
No,
Honestly,
14ers aren't that
without
dangerous.
Equipment?
some of them are.
I've seen plenty of that
We've
stuff.
seen
Brian,
some like
video.
GoPro footage
Yeah.
from the top, and,
And
we're
it's-
all like, okay,
Yeah, I'm just like,
single mother
I
coming
tell
right
him,
up.
do not die every time he leaves.
The 14er is just
We can't
a
afford him to
peak
die.
that you can climb that's over 14,000 feet above sea level.
Cannot lift these.
I cannot lift
Mom
these children.
Mom doesn't want
I'm
Matt to
sorry.
die because she cannot do
I can't lift these.
childcare.
Sometimes
I
the
can't do
trails
It's
are-
not
childcare.
about him.
Sometimes you don't have to
It's
climb
true.
at all when you're doing a 14er. It's just a hike, a really strenuous uphill hike that goes up to 14,000 feet.
Oh my god!
No, it's hopping from this big
crevasse.
crevasse. And what's the
Like
other
they're-
word that Sting
Gulch?
uses? No.
Canyon?
That Sting uses?
Yeah, it's in a song.
Oh, really? Fields of Barley?
No, forget it. I'll get back to it.
I'll be watching you.
Next time you have me on, I'll have this word down.
Great.
Anyway, no, there's some big wide jumps.
Oh, right.
It depends
Yeah,
on what mountain, depends on what trail you take. Sometimes it doesn't have to be that dangerous. Like if you want to climb like Mount Whitney or something, you don't necessarily have to put yourself in danger to do
Well,
it.
I believe you, but I bet whoever he's with, his
But
brother.
he's doing
and-
all of them, Brian. So some of them have
Some of them must
level.
be dangerous.
Yes.
If he's doing,
He's
there's 96
all
of them, so it's like
Julie,
Oh,
if
well,
you
that's his
picture
goal.
Matt like jumping over a wide gulch.
yeah. What about
Do
it?
you get it? Do you get a little
Do you
hiccup
get
in
a
your ear?
Chasm. Chasm's the word I'm
Oh,
looking for.
chasm.
Okay, good
Do you
job.
feel anything in your vagina when you imagine it?
Who said that? No.
I'm so glad it was Noah
You're in
and not me.
trouble, Noah.
No.
I almost said it, but I wanted
Well,
you guys
now
to
I
say-
do.
Well,
No,
like,
no,
do you
just
know
kidding.
that sense you get when you are like up and like high or on something, or like if
No, I
you
don't
see
know
something
that.
disgusting, like do you get like a sense in your
When I get off?
when you get off? Do you, when you get high, when you get too high up,
No, but are you?
you know the little sense like if you see something like someone almost like slice their arm on something, or like you hear about a splinter, and like do you get a little ting in your
Yes,
vagina?
for sure.
In your vagina?
Okay, me
Oh,
too.
I haven't thought about that, but maybe
I get it in like my stomach and my like
I think
ribs.
I get it more in my stomach. Like,
yeah, me
like,
too.
I
Yeah.
always had it in my stomach, and then 5 years ago, it went 3 inches down, and I'm
Wow.
like,
Or your
why
vagina
is it
went up.
there?
Okay.
It's just
I'm going to pay attention to this.
Yeah, pay attention. But
I'm
I
going
hate
to.
that.
Yeah,
I can't even
okay.
think about something bad happening. My sister follows this Instagram account called like. You guys will know it, but it's like kids falling or something, and it's all
Ew, hell.
kids bailing, and she's like, "This is hysterical to me," and
No.
I can't
Oh,
watch
no.
it. It's
No.
like they don't get hurt, but they're always
No.
falling.
Final thought. These videos where people say, "But did no one got hurt? Did you check? Did you check up on them?" Because this is bullshit. I see people break bones all the time that you cannot see, and I don't want to see. I hate people falling.
Yeah, I
And
don't
also,
America's
think
what do you
Funniest Home
mean?
Videos.
Oh, no.
Did they not get
No.
hurt or did they not die? Because it's like just because
Exactly.
someone's not dead doesn't mean they're
Right.
not grievously injured and
Yes.
suffering.
Even
Yeah.
though I did watch the shark attack in Egypt I found it unblurred.
Oh,
And I saw this
no.
guide. It looks like a scene in Jaws. I mean, it's insane. I recommend watching it. It's not too bad.
What?
But
I recommend watching it.
because if you have any interest, I'm someone who doesn't like gore. I don't like really frightening things. I will not watch like Faces of Death. I've never seen any like really, I don't watch scary movies. But this is so far away, and the girl filming it's almost annoying because she just keeps going, "Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my
Jesus.
God."
Is he getting
Oh my
killed?
God. Yeah, he definitely got killed.
Was this not too long ago, right?
Yeah, this was like a couple weeks ago.
Definitely like
Wait, but you
gore.
just told us not to be
That's
scared
gore.
of sharks.
Well,
Yeah.
you shouldn't be because this is so rare.
It's the same as bees.
No, but honestly,
Bees.
well, there are going to be shark attack. Sharks will kill people, but the odds of it are insane, and they don't really want to eat you. But this kid got, and it's someone's. I only watched it because I wanted to hear him scream, "Dad," because that's
Oh
what
my
someone said. He
God.
screamed. I know
I
that's so
can't even
sad.
hear
I don't know
it.
why I would. I don't know why I wanted to hear it, but you
Terrible.
can't hear it.
Well,
you can't.
guess what? You got to
He
go
said
somehow.
Papa. I'm just kidding. No, you couldn't hear it at all. Papa, please. No, it was so bad. It's so
I
sad.
recommend watching it. That's
Well,
So
if
wait,
you're-
should I
if
watch
you're
this first or should I watch
Thriller.
Greenberg?
You remind me of this guy too, just thrashing about.
You got a lot on your plate, Brian.
No, it looks like out of the movies. Like if you watch Jaws, like where they get hit and then they're just kind of like flailing around there, and then he's
Nikki.
crying for. I'm sorry, I'll stop
I can't
describing.
even
it.
Survival
picture
of
it.
the fittest.
That's gore.
Sorry.
Oh
What do you
my
mean?
God,
Yeah. Honestly, this is the risk you take.
Is this a
This is why I
surfer?
don't go in the ocean. This
Yeah.
is why I don't. He's far out too. I would never be far out
That-
alone
What
No,
does
in the
me
ocean.
survival
neither.
of the fittest mean in this context?
It
That the
means
shark is
do
the
not
fitter.
go out that
He
far.
should have been doing
Yeah.
more
Okay.
F-45 classes. This kid.
What
He would've
country
been more
was this?
fit. Egypt.
And it was a surfer?
No, it was just a swimmer.
Swimming out
but he was
too far.
way out. You know what I'm
Oh.
saying? Like, not that the sharks can't get you inside
You're
either.
taking a chance going out that far.
But sorry I said to recommend watching it. I'm not celebrating this at all. It freaked me out. It made me so sad. I'm so fucking sad for this kid. He did not deserve that.
You
all
almost
the
have
things
to
like,
talk about it to cleanse the trauma of seeing it.
Don't
Kinda.
backpedal.
Pass it on to
It
me.
wasn't
Just
that double down.
It wasn't that traumatic for me. For whatever reason, I can watch that, but I could never watch the movie Midsummer, which I've read. I've read the description to that, and it sounds horrific, and I would never watch that.
Oh, wait, I think I like
but-
that movie.
Wait, you did?
It's that like Scandinavian film. Yeah.
Yeah, where
Pronounce
where
it
the cults.
Midsommar.
Midsommar.
I really liked it. I thought it was good.
with okay, so will you tell me? But I didn't know anyone who'd seen it. Okay, it's fucked up, right? Everyone who says it says it keeps getting. You think it's gonna get better, like all the gore is done, and things keep getting worse. It's crazy.
Yes, it gets worse. I actually saw that movie. It was like a midnight show in an empty theater. Avi and I went. It was so fun.
You guys are so the same.
I know.
That's insane.
And I thought it was like cinematically was like a really, really great movie, especially when they're high. Like they take mushrooms on this like campsite, and the way they presented that was awesome.
It felt
and
like you were
like
tripping.
Yes, exactly. And I was
like when they
completely
do that.
sober.
Yeah.
And there's this
You were
one
getting
part.
off.
Yeah. Well, there's this one part where there's like this orgy.
Yeah.
And this guy who is one of the captives, like these women fuck him. It's great. I don't know. I think you would really like it.
Talk
Gang
about
bang.
talk about fucking on camera. Like this, I haven't seen The Idol. Have you guys seen The Idol yet on HBO?
No.
I won't watch it because of the
what?
stories around it.
I saw
Yeah, like-
one little clip that maybe you sent me, and I'm like,
yeah, I
I'm
sent
out.
you that. It was so funny. It's like when the trainer is looking at the girl's body and he's like touching her too much. And The Weeknd, who's the girl's boyfriend, is like, "Get off my woman right now!" And he's like, "But my parents are doctors." And he goes, "If my friend was a gynecologist, you think I could put my finger up any girl I wanted?" It was just like so
brother.
And then he's like, and then he fires the trainer, and the trainer's like, "I only take direction from my boss." And then the girl's like, "I'm sorry, it's just not gonna work out." Like, it's just it's so bad.
That's so weird.
Sorry, I can't watch Lily Rose Depp. And then Chris was like, "Oh, I've been watching this. It's so pornographic." And he starts pulling up all the sex scenes from it. It is.
Is this
Makes
Johnny's
me so,
daughter?
Yes, this makes me so mad. I'm leaning forward because I have a point to make. Everyone who's in the porn industry gets ostracized from Hollywood. They can't even dream of ever going to the Golden Globes or the Oscars or, rubbing elbows with the Hollywood elite because they've done porn, and it's so offensive and it's so degrading and it's so just like you're just lesser than if you've done porn. Yet Lily Rose Depp can be having exactly the same kind of sex that I watch in my bedroom when I go to xvideos.com or spankbank.com or
xxnx.com.
Okay, learned a new one. Thank you. Or
YouPorn.com.
blackedraw.com. And it's all it's the same. It is exactly cinematically the same. Yeah, maybe you don't see exact insertion and you don't see, but there's nothing different about it. There's nothing different. Yet she will be lauded for this and be able to go to every red carpet. She'll get to go to the Met Gala. And why is it? And you know why? She should be able to. And so should porn stars. It's a fucking art. You should not. And Chris was like, why would an actress ever do this? Like, it's so egregious. Like, he goes, when you see these like actresses that are really like have a lot of credibility, why would they do these like lesbian porn scenes? And I go, because I would in a second, because you know what? There are a lot of us that would love to do porn. And I know my mom hates when I say this, but I think porn is an amazing art and it can be done very well. And I would like to do it, but I could never do it because I would be ostracized. But if I ever got asked to do a movie where I have to have a lesbian scene because that's the director's vision, I would be like, hell yes, sign me up. I've always wanted to do this. So we should not, the lines between porn and cinema are indistinguishable now. Based on what I've seen from The Idol, it's not fair. If we are scorning porn stars for what they do and making them kill themselves because they can't get a fucking job after they age out of porn because they've done porn before and they can't go DJ in Dayton, Ohio at a Burt Kreischer show, which happened to Carter Cruz, who was a porn actress and is now retired, and she's a DJ. They Googled his lineup last summer, saw that Carter Cruz was on it, saw that she had done porn before, and because of the endowment of this stupid center in Dayton, this theater that they were performing, she was not allowed to perform because she had done porn before.
It wasn't Bert.
It wasn't Bert saying no,
Bert
but it was the endowment for it. Yeah, I mean, Bert brought her on tour and as a DJ. She has nothing to do with porn anymore.
Yeah.
But this is what I'm saying. If we are allowing Lily Rose Depp to be on the Kelly Clarkson show, then we should let Sasha Grey be on the Kelly Clarkson show. Like it should be Does this make sense? Like, why
I'm
do we
in.
go, that's art,
Yeah.
and then porn is not art? Fuck this show. I fucking hate The Idol. I think The Weeknd is a bad person. I think that this show is exploitative. I think that I don't need to see Lily Rose Depp's tits this much. As much as I'm like, go girl, do it, and I would probably do it too. I think it's gratuitous. I think it's like a man like kind of put her up to it, and I would love to say, no, she chose to do this, but I don't think she wrote it, and I don't think a woman wrote this, but I didn't really check. It just feels gross to me, and I don't want to see a girl who looks like she has a child body being fucked.
Oh, yeah.
How about that? This girl looks like she's 12 years old. She looks like she's 12, and they fucking know that she does, and that's why they cast her, because people want to see children have sex because everyone's gross. That's my final rant for the day.
Is it the same director as Euphoria?
Yes,
because
he
when
likes
I
to
found
see
out,
young girls be penetrated.
That was my issue with Euphoria. At first, I really, really liked it, and then I was like, "Oh, these scenes are really egregious," like, and kind of like giving me a vibe that a man has written this. I thought it was written by women, and then I found that out, and that's my issue with The Idol is that it just like exploits women.
And it's a girl who looks prepubescent, and I know that they casted it for that reason. She does not have. There's no offense to her body. She has a beautiful body, but they chose her. I believe she's a great actress too. When you're watching it, you feel like you're watching CP.
Yeah, she's very
It's not
wafy.
Flash
and,
take.
and they know what they're doing. Yes,
Daisy Jones and the Six versus The Idol. Which one would you rather watch?
Ooh.
The Idol. Because it at least it knows what it is. I think more than Daisy Jones and the Six, who is trying to be something it's not. But this is no shade to Lily Rose Depp. And she said she had a good time on the film, and I'm sure she didn't have a gun to her head, and like her whole life and career were threatened for her to put out that statement because of the rumors swelling around this. But I do believe that when you're an actress auditioning for a thing and you finally get this role, you've been up in front of these men countless times. Just your life is in their hands to give you this role. It's they have this power, and then you finally get the role. Are you going to suddenly be able to speak up to that guy and tell him, I don't want to do this? This guy that has already established such a control over whether you get this or not. Not only him, but the studio heads that had to sign off on you. The reason you're there is because a bunch of men chose you. So at what point do you think an actress is going to have the autonomy at that age, at her first starring role in something, to be like, I'm a little uncomfortable about this.
Right.
And I don't think, maybe she's stronger than I think she is. I just know that in that position, even at my age, if I got a role in something, I would do anything the director fucking said because they gave me that role. And that's why I think that maybe casting should happen outside of a direct. I don't know. I'm setting new guidelines that I need to talk to SAG-AFTRA about. But because of that relationship that you establish with the director when you audition in front of him, you're giving him that power before he even has cast you. And therefore you'll do anything. And that's
a good point.
Thank you.
Really? It really is. I mean, I would never think it's
You're
something
just like
that.
thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Even when, as the producer of a reality show, I empowered the girls that we chose to say, you are in the position of power. You cannot be replaced. We've already shot 3 episodes with you. We can't reshoot that. If you want to walk off set because you don't like something that's going on, you fucking put your foot down because you're in the driver's seat now. We were before when we cast you, but now you have the power. We're replaceable. You're not. And that's what I think these actresses need to be empowered to do, but I doubt that they feel that way. And you know, it's complicated, but yeah, maybe people who have watched The Idol can enlighten me. Maybe I need to watch more of it and I'll like totally change my tune, but I just don't. I like The Weeknd's music, but I don't like his little demeanor. I don't like it. And I just
and his
listened to an
halftime
AI.
show made me. I hated the Super Bowl halftime show.
Really? With all the mirrors?
It was too much effects and not enough music. It was just like I felt like he was trying to hypnotize me.
Oh,
I was
okay.
like, what is this, a magic trick?
Yeah. I don't mind his music. And maybe I can separate what a bad person he is from his music. Like with some people, I can do that. Like I don't care about Michael Jackson. I can still enjoy, even though I know he's licked little boys' assholes. doesn't.
God, why do you gotta go there?
These are facts. Again, I'm just Tom Brokaw. You guys, I'm reporting the facts. This is what he did.
Really, you know that's a fact.
Did you not watch the
I didn't
Finding
hear
Neverland?
those words. No.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I'm
I
sorry
probably-
to get so into
I
it.
might
but
have put that out of my brain.
Yeah,
or something,
well, go
but-
watch that Shark Attack.
Put it
Papa,
back.
Papa.
Oh God! Oh my
I'm
God!
so sorry. This episode fucking sucks.
Also,
so
with the
sorry.
little child yelled while Michael was doing that.
No.
Oh my God.
I had to do it.
You know what? Fuck it. Because you know what? Every other podcast is going to these places. All these like
Yeah,
bad friends and Tim Dillon. They all get to like work
to
in
say
this.
whatever
and
they want.
Tom Segura. But for some reason we don't. We're going there, folks.
And you know
We're
why?
Going there.
We're not. We're apologizing for it. That's why we can't
That's it. If
apologize for it.
No apologizing.
We can't have
So
any
is what
shame
it is.
here.
This is fucked up. Make a new bingo card,
Yeah.
Nikki Pod memes, because we're going off the rails.
Yeah.
This is no more of like just inner empowerment bullshit talk. We are making fun of grim disasters and trauma. Okay. Anyway, I hope you guys have a great week. Well, I think we have a show tomorrow. Yeah, we're taping this a week in advance, so I'm kind of all over the place on the schedule. But we'll see you tomorrow on the show. Mom, thank you for being here.
Sure, thanks for having me.
And have a good day. And don't be and just fuck it. Say what you want.
Yeah.
And just apologize later and be like, please don't cancel me. But also do, because I'm tired.